You sick of the sight of Manchester City?
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe by the end we will be sick of each other, but yeah, not yet. Ready to go again.
Yeah, you were asked after the game about processing a defeat because it is a real rarity. Do you remember how many you lost at Lyon?
No.
In 3 years, was it about 6 games?
Maybe, but I don't count my defeats. I prefer to count the victories.
It is a rarity, the first time you've had to do it. So how did you go about processing it? Do you have a set of rules? I know some managers almost have a 24-hour rule where it has to be out their system within that.
Yeah, no, to be fair, and being honest, it's tough. It's always tough to lose games. But even if it's rare, that's part of the job. Sometimes even if you have the best preparation, some days, even if you put all on the pitch, it doesn't work the way you want. So yeah, I have kind of my own process. So yeah, of course, one day after the game, it's tough because you have your emotions, and as I said, it's always difficult to lose games. But after, I already said also, I am someone really positive, and I need to bring this positive energy to my team, to my squad. So it's okay for everyone, players and staff included, to have a tough day after the lose. But our job is now to make sure we focus in the future. There is nothing we can control more from the past. Having a good reflection in the game, it's something really good. So we had that reflection as a team this morning, and I think we are now all focused on the game on Sunday.
And for you to move on, is it, I don't know, do you just go boxing? Do you go lift some heavy weights? Or no, do you drown yourself in ice cream and watch terrible things on telly? Do you have to just step away and park it?
Yeah, when I go home, I have my kids, which is maybe the best thing to have, because they just take you away from football sometimes, and sometimes you feel like you need to focus, work more, and but that's not the only way to be good. So yeah, having my kids helped me a lot, but also I rewatch the game to make sure we are prepared going into the next game with the right things to make on the pitch.
And when you go through that process you did with training, you've got a group of players that are very experienced. Did they put their hands up? Did you have to tell them what they'd done wrong, or are they at the point where they just says, I know?
No.
Taking the responsibility themselves.
As a manager, I always said, when we win, it's the players. When we lose, it's the manager. And I always take that responsibility because I don't want the players to feel a lot of pressure on them. So I think it's good to do that. That's my own thinking. I don't feel any pressure. I just assume the results of my team. I'm the leader. So I think the players, as you just mentioned, have a lot of experience. They know what we could have done better in the game, and the reflection was really constructive and positive. So I think now we are used to work together. They know exactly what I expect from them, and again, the reflection was really positive. I think it's good now to be focusing on what we need to do to make sure we have a better result on Sunday game.
And when you set out these 4 games, in your mind, did you know what you were going to do with each of these games in terms of how you were going to use your squad and what you were going to do with them and how you were going to approach? And I wondered if you've veered away from that.
Yeah, as a manager, you always prepare everything on detail. You go from different scenarios, different options. So as I said, we took game by game, but in every game you need to be prepared depending on the result. First of all, if you win, if you lose, that's different. Going into the next games, where you on top of the other team or not on top, what do we need to work to make sure we have a better game? But these games against City, as you could see, they are a really good team. It's a fine margin, and the details are really important. So margin, fine margin.
Yes.
Well done. I like when people correct me, so well done on that.
I heard it the other night, and I thought I'll write that down for you.
Yeah.
How much does the game on the weekend change? Because in a sense, you don't want to throw everything at this game because you have to hold something back to overturn that 2-goal deficit.
That's an important game for both teams. We want to stay top of the league. We want to win the trophy in this league. So every game is really important. So the one on Sunday will be 3 points, especially after losing the game. You just need to show a reaction from that, and this is what we need to show.
but within that, you have to have something up your sleeve, don't you, for next week as well? You have to maybe change things up. Where you are in the league means that you are in control of this league.
Yeah.
Where you are in the Champions League, which is what you really want to win.
Yeah.
It's become very, very difficult. So how much does that affect what you do on Sunday?
You know, as I said, we have different plans, and again, like going into the game on Sunday, we know the context is maybe different going on to the game next Thursday. Of course, we are top of the league at the moment. We want to win every game until the end. But we don't feel any pressure going into that game. Just as usual, we want to go and win the game because, as I said, like it's 3 points. We play away. It will be a tough game. We know going on to the next game, the one on the Champions League one, we are 2 goals behind, and we'll need to react from that. So yeah, maybe the game plan will be a little bit different, but not a big difference for me. As Chelsea, you always want to win every game. You always want to start the game strong and as strong as you can.
And just finally from me, you weren't particularly happy with your pitch, were you, in the final at Derby the other week? We saw it again in midweek.
Yeah.
It was quite hard to watch at times. Injuries. Beth Mead talked about being disgraced and really unhappy. Are you confident that anyone's listening, that actually something is going to be done about this? Because we know how it works. We talk about it for a while. It goes away, and then the weather gets bad again, and we have the same thing all over again.
Yeah, I understand that. Our job is to make sure we just raise a voice about it. I think that's just not acceptable to be able to play in that pitches. First of all, because of the quality, but also and maybe mainly because of the safety of the players. I think, this is something we need to now take really in count. And being in 2025, we are in a modern world where in the women's game we should have the best pitches possible.
Yeah, and do you hope that anyone is listening?
Yeah, I hope
because
people.
You've been saying it for years, haven't you?
Yeah, that's our job, and that's what happens when you are a woman in life. You have to say again and again. So we are used to that, but sometimes also fed up to have to say again and again. But that's our job, to raise a voice again and to make sure this will change for the future.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gail. Kate, thank you.
Hi, Sonia. Just wondering
Hi.
if you felt there was any specific areas that City exploited within the team, and if you're thinking of making any tactical changes.
Yes, of course. When the game doesn't go with the result you are expecting, you always have to look at the game and see what you can change and improve. We'll make some changes going into the game on Sunday, but you will understand easily that's difficult for me to answer with more details in the tactical aspects.
Sure. And just in terms of, obviously, then you're playing City away and then you'll be going at home. Can you just talk about a little bit about how the players feel in terms of the difference between playing at home and away, and how you can use that?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is having your fans supporting yourself when you are playing a home game. But again, all my players have a lot of experience. They play big tournaments, and I think they are used to play away games, or when you don't feel as much the support of your fans when you don't play a home game. Sunday will be an exciting game. We play at the Etihad Stadium, which it's a really good stadium, and I think all the players will be really excited and ready to compete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Kate. We'll jump across to Zoom now, please. Can we come to you, Charlotte?
Hey, I watched Lucy Braun's interview with Alex Scott the other day. I found it deeply moving and quite powerful, and I wondered how you and the rest of your squad found her speaking out in that way.
Yeah, that's really important in these moments to have the leaders who help the team to stay positive. So that's the way I work. I really like to really have a good relationship with my players in terms of confidence. And in these moments, it's important for me as a leader to just show and set the example, but it's also important for my leaders, and Lucy is one of them, to just show the example, and again just tell everyone what we need to do to go with more success.
And did you feel sort of proud of her speaking so personally.
Yeah, I think so. That's always important when it comes from the players. I think we are all in the same team. As I said, we lose together, but also we win together. So that's really important to stay all together all through the season when you have really good moments and when sometimes it's more tough. It's really important not to go too low when it's tough, but also not to go too high when you are having success.
And do you think she can inspire other young women and girls who are dealing with some of the same things she is and say, look at what I've achieved despite all these things?
Yeah, for sure. Lucy is an example in the team, in the pitch, but also outside the pitch. I think, she can inspire the young girls, but also the women's. I think her voice is really powerful, and that's really important to have examples like her.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlotte. Dan, next, please.
Hey, Sonia. Hope you're
Hi,
well.
Dan. Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Obviously, you've got a good position in the league. City are obviously playing catch up in the race for Europe. So, going into this weekend, do you feel like there's more pressure on City rather than yourselves?
I think when you look at the facts, yeah, for sure, we are in a better position in terms of the table. But that's an important game. So for us, we want to go in this game with a lot of confidence, but also we want to win the game. I didn't pick my team yet, but I will try to put the strongest team I can just to make sure, we have a good chance to win on Sunday.
And obviously this is your third consecutive game on the road against City. So I just wonder how much of an impact does that make, travelling to 3 games in the space of a very short period of time?
I think as a staff and in the club, we just put all together to make sure we give the best preparation to the players. After the game on Saturday in Derby, we just have a really good recovery. I think all the players are ready to compete in every game, even if you have to travel, even if you have to play really tough games every 3 days. I think we have the squad for that, so we are in a good place.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Sonia. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Cheers, Dan. Rachel, next, please.
Hi, Sonia. I was curious as to whether or not in your career, either as a player or a coach, was there ever a time when you faced one team so many times in the space of a short period of time?
I said when I was in Lyon in charge, we faced PSG 7 times in the same season. We played them 3 times in 1 week. So it was kind of the same challenge in different competition. It was in the French Cup, in the league, and in the Champions League. So I had this experience before, and that's always special.
And in that scenario, is it more important to stick to routines that you're used to, or is it more important to keep things fresh? And how do you keep things a bit fresh when you know you're facing that same opponent again? Yeah,
both are important. Coming into these games, you just need to trust the process. This is what we have been doing, but also trying to have as much freshness as you can. That's really important, and it can make an impact going into every game.
Can you look at the loss as maybe an opportunity? Because obviously you haven't been tested coming back from a loss yet this season, and obviously we've got a lot of games coming out, big knockout games, Champions League. Is it an opportunity to kind of see how you respond and test yourself against one setback?
Yeah, that's a new opportunity for us going into the game on Sunday. Different competition again, but the best teams always show a reaction, so I'm hoping for us to be able to do that on Sunday as well.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Emily, next, please.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Well, I just wanted to ask about team news and if there are any fitness updates.
So no new injuries concerned from the last game, and all the players who are not available won't be available for the game on Sunday.
And does that include Sam Kerr? How close are we to seeing her back?
Yeah, it includes Sam Kerr, so Sam Kerr won't be with us before the next international break, so we'll see. We'll go week by week, and maybe after the international break we'll have a better idea when she will come back with us.
And you've kind of talked about it already, but you hadn't lost before Wednesday. that disappointment isn't something that your players have really dealt with this season. How confident are you that they can bounce back?
Yeah, that's our job to bounce back, even if it's difficult. But I think, this season it didn't happen yet. But I think in the previous season they experienced that in the club, but also with national team. As I said, my players have a lot of experience. So yeah, when you have a career, you always experience to lose some games. So yeah, for me it's always important to analyze the performance as a team, but also to just bounce back and staying positive. The most important for me to stay with the facts. So the facts at the minute, we lost an important game, but we're still alive for the next round. And in this situation, what is really positive, we still have one leg to play. We are not dead in the Champions League. So yeah, there is hope for that reason. And also when you look at the bigger picture, we are top of the table in the league. We already won one trophy and we are qualified in the FA Cup. So all these elements bring us some confidence as well.
Sonia, best of luck for Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. We will finish with Freya, if that's all right. Thanks, Freya.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
You already mentioned the poor pitch quality both in your match and also the Real match in the Champions League. Given the importance also of the player safety and the level of competition in both the WSL and the Champions League, do you think the issue of inadequate pitches reflects a bigger problem and maybe also lack of investment in the women's game, and what steps can we take to also ensure this doesn't continue also on grassroots level?
Yeah, I think in the situation we could see, especially in Real Madrid, I think that's never easy to talk about the other clubs. But when they have such a really good team in the men's side and a good stadium, I think they should take some responsibility for having the women's team who play in the big stadium in Madrid. I think for me it seems to be easy. I know it's political decisions, but it's just about having the voluntary. Yeah, the desire. It's just to have the desire to make that decisions. But when you reflect on the situation, I was watching maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Real Madrid already played in that pitch against Barcelona, and the pitch was really bad. So I think even the big instances like UEFA, they should take some decisions and they should impose to the clubs to be able to have another pitch, especially when it's an international break for the men's side and the big stadium is available. I know it costs money for sure, but if you want to help the women's football, you need to make that decisions.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What do you think can we maybe, on one hand as fans, but also maybe as women working in sports, what can we do to maybe help the change?
To speak about it and to make sure people listen to us. But sometimes it's difficult because, as much as you say, sometimes you can't control everything. It's, as I said, political decisions, and when it comes to politics, it's always difficult. But our job is to make sure we speak out and we raise a voice about it.
Yeah, definitely. You're now facing your third fixture, as we already mentioned, against Manchester City after 1 win and 1 loss. What are you taking with you after those matches, and what might be changed?
I think in the first game maybe we couldn't control the game the way we wanted to control the game, but at least we won the game. I think we were a better team in possession of the ball in the second game, but it didn't work because we lost the game. So it's maybe finding the right balance between being able to possess more the ball and having the control of the game, sometimes being on top of City, but also being able to be efficient, clinical, and to score some goals, because we couldn't score on the game on Wednesday.
Thank you very much, and good luck with the next fixtures.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Freya. All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank
Have a nice
you.
afternoon.